You have been deceived. From an early age, you were taught to seek quick pleasure and forget about your own power. Nobody told you that the energy you throw away every day is the same energy that could transform your body, your mind, and your reality. It seems absurd, right? But what if I told you that stopping ejaculating for a while, breathing the right way, and leaving your stomach empty in the morning could change everything in your life? Most men live with energy stuck down there. Always leaking. Always tired. Always looking for the next cheap stimulus. And that's why they are weak, scattered, emotionally unstable. But what few know is that there is a simple, ancestral, natural, and free method to reverse all of this. A lifestyle where vitality returns, mental clarity expands, and charisma appears effortlessly. This has nothing to do with becoming a monk, nor with miraculous formulas. It's science, physiology, and ancient wisdom applied in the real world. A lifestyle where your energy works in your favor again. Where you feel, in your skin, that you are recharging your internal battery every day, while most people are emptying themselves without even realizing it. In this video, you'll understand step by step how to do semen retention the right way, how to use your breath to direct this powerful energy to your testicles, and why fasting in the morning could be the greatest energy hack you'll discover. And the best part, you will see how all of this fits into a practical plan, which fits into your routine and starts to produce results quickly. But first of all, are you really prepared to become the rare type of man who doesn't allow himself to be dominated by his own impulses, and who begins to awaken the true masculine strength that lives within himself? Most men can't even imagine the power they are wasting every day. It's not an exaggeration. They grow up hearing that it's normal to relieve themselves whenever they feel like it, as if constant ejaculation were a biological right. But no one realizes that the vital force, the energy that shapes presence, focus, and even male magnetism, goes away there. Semen retention is not just a spiritual choice, it is a decision to regain sovereignty over oneself. It's like a king who finally realizes that he was feeding his enemy with his own gold. The truth is that many are not weak because they are lazy. They are drained because they never learned to hold on to what really matters. Semen is more than a fluid, it is the core of male vitality. When a man starts practicing semen retention, it's as if he stops emptying his car's tank every day for nothing. Little by little, he notices more energy in the morning, more clarity in conversations, and even more unconscious respect from other people. To understand this in practice, just look at great historical figures. Nikola Tesla, for example, was celibate and believed that sex weakened man's creativity. Napoleon Hill says that sexual energy, when transmuted, generates personal power and achievements. These guys weren't saints, they were energy strategists. The man who dominates his libido dominates himself, and whoever dominates himself dominates the world around him. But of course, all of this is against the tide. Society encourages the opposite: quick pleasure, instant gratification, and addiction to easy stimuli. That's why so many men are apathetic, without fire in their eyes, without long-term plans. Semen retention breaks this vicious cycle. It teaches man to postpone pleasure for something greater, and that is where true inner strength is born, the one that cannot be bought or taught in school. This awakening does not come from one day to the next, but begins the moment a man decides to stop acting like a slave to his impulses. When he understands that momentary pleasure has taken too high a toll, he begins to regain his energy, his dignity, and his clarity. And then, naturally, he begins to notice something strange about the modern world, a kind of general numbness, something that will be revealed more clearly when we look at what is affecting the mind of man today. We live in an era where everything screams for attention. The cell phone vibrates, the television shines, social networks don't stop. But what no one realizes is the silent price this exacts: the scattering of the male mind. Many men are immersed in pornography, eating poorly, breathing shallowly, and ejaculating with absurd frequency. This is no coincidence. It is a system created to keep man disconnected from his essence. Semen retention appears as silent resistance to this modern chaos. And when I say chaos, I mean it literally. Just look around: lethargic, unfocused, irritated, emotionally fragile men. And the worst part, they think this is normal. A constant cycle of cheap dopamine has addicted their minds. One click, one video, one download. But this constant discharge dries up the energy that could be used to undertake, write, love with presence, or simply be at peace. The crisis of modern man is not just external, it is a silent war within his own chest. If you are a man looking for more energy, focus, and self-control, I have prepared a powerful ebook that will show you how semen retention can transform your life. Link in the first pinned comment. Want a practical example? A guy wakes up, checks his cell phone, has coffee and bread, sits down to work, but is already thinking about taking a quick look at adult websites. At the end of the day, you're exhausted, irritated, and don't know why. The energy was being sucked in small doses. Semen retention breaks this cycle. Instead of becoming hostage to the next discharge, man starts to build energy, and that's when everything changes. But no one teaches that. The educational system prepares man to obey, not to dominate his instincts. The entertainment industry is a mental enslavement machine. And the Western diet, full of sugar and dairy products, dulls the senses and further distances man from his vitality. It's as if everything was designed so that he never discovers what it could really be. But the few who discover it, those begin to breathe differently, walk differently, and even speak differently. And it's curious how it all starts with small decisions. A no to a video, a yes to more lively food, more conscious breathing. Semen retention is the foundation, but there is a complementary key that many ignore. An ancient, powerful, and forgotten key, breathing. And that's what we're going to talk about now. Semen retention, in itself, is transformative. But when man learns to move this energy with his breath, he accesses a new level of power. It's as if the body were an instrument and breathing was the key that activates its true melody. Taking a deep breath, slowly and consciously, directing your attention to the base of your spine, is like starting your internal engine. The energy that was previously stagnant in the genitals begins to circulate, rise, feed the brain, and calm the heart. Many people breathe automatically and don't even realize it. But there is a stark difference between shallow breathing and conscious breathing. When a man holds in semen and breathes deeply, he is telling his body, "I am in control now." It is in this state that insights, emotional balance, and even that magnetism that effortlessly attracts attention emerge. Want to try it? Take 10 minutes now. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Do this with your eyes closed and feel your body responding. The simplest but extremely effective technique is called pyramid breathing. You can practice it sitting, with your spine erect, visualizing the energy rising up your spine to the top of your head. This helps transmute sexual drive into focus, charisma, and clarity. It's like redirecting a river that previously only flooded the ground so that it now spins turbines and generates electricity. The entire body begins to vibrate differently when the breath of life is used with intention. And it's worth highlighting, it's not about controlling your breathing in a forced way, but about regaining presence. A man present in his own body does not get lost in stimuli. He observes, feels, responds. He does not react. And this state is only possible when he is energized from within. Deep breathing, combined with semen retention, is like the internal furnace that keeps the fire going, without burning, without wasting. This simple practice is, in fact, an ancestral secret. And the more you practice it, the more you realize that it doesn't just recharge the body, it activates energy centers that were dormant. However, there is one point that few people master, and that increases this power even further. It is the way you breathe in the lower abdomen region, something that the ancients called dantian. For centuries, Eastern masters have preserved the knowledge of how to cultivate vital energy through breathing in the lower abdomen. They called this point the lower dantian, a center of power just below the navel. By inhaling deeply and mentally bringing the air to this region, the man begins to accumulate energy instead of wasting it. When this practice is combined with semen retention, the entire body enters another state of operation. Less anxiety, more solidity. Less dispersion, more presence. The secret is in the combination of intention, focus, and breathing. These masters taught that man should breathe with his belly, without lifting his chest or tensing his face. The movement should be subtle, like a wave that comes and goes. And this isn't mystical talk, it's pure physiology. Abdominal breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for relaxation and recovery. While the modern world lives on alert, the man who breathes with awareness lives in internal control. Do you want to apply this in your everyday life? Whenever you find yourself anxious, irritated, or distracted, place your hands on your lower abdomen, Close your eyes and breathe with intention. Feel the air expanding the area and then slowly returning. Do this for 3 minutes. You will notice that your thinking slows down and your body gains stability. This is the basis of internal martial arts training, such as Tai Chi and Qigong. It's not just about fighting, but about channeling energy wisely. What I'm explaining here is much more detailed in my ebook, The Power of Semen Retention. There is a simple step-by-step guide for you to apply in your everyday life. It's really worth it. These ancient practices are more current than ever. In a world where man is easily distracted, those who master their own breath become rare, and those who are rare stand out. Semen retention enhances all of this, because it generates the fuel that breathing moves. It's like having a power plant inside you, available 24 hours a day. Just stop, breathe, and drive. And it's curious how everything connects. Energy accumulates in the testicles, is activated by breathing in the dantian, and spreads throughout the body like electricity. But for this circuit to work at maximum power, there is something essential that few people understand, and that involves what we put, or not, inside the body. Let's talk about that next. The body is an intelligent machine, but it needs space to function properly. When you're always busy digesting, you can't channel energy into other functions. That's why fasting, especially morning fasting, has become a great ally for semen retention. By not eating food in the morning, the body enters a state of subtle alertness, more focused, lighter, sharper. And in this state, sexual energy is not suffocated by digestion. It circulates more freely, feeding mind, muscles, and magnetism. Fasting helps the body burn fat, cleanse toxins, and, most importantly, produce more testosterone. And if there's one thing a man needs when he's practicing semen retention, it's precisely that, a strong hormonal base to support his discipline and vigor. A good start is to skip the traditional breakfast and just consume water with lemon, ginger tea, or unsweetened black coffee. Simple, cheap, and powerful. Over time, the body adapts and responds with more mental clarity and more presence. This clarity is felt even in the way the man moves. The body becomes lighter, the spine more erect, the gaze firmer. It's as if an empty stomach makes your soul fuller. And this has a direct impact on posture, voice, and even the way you walk. Everything communicates energy, and when it is not being diverted by digestion or wasted by ejaculation, it overflows in every gesture. Have you ever noticed how certain men enter a room and everyone pays attention? They don't overeat. They channel. But be careful. Fasting is not about starving yourself or punishing yourself. It's about food intelligence. It's understanding that we don't always need to eat as soon as we wake up, and that the silence of the body brings responses that food muffles. It is in this silence that vital energy begins to reorganize itself. And if you want to enhance this, fast every other day, avoid processed foods, and start to notice how your mood, productivity, and presence change. The combination of an empty stomach and full testicles is explosive, in the best sense. The man feels stronger inside, as if he has activated an ancient version of himself. But this transformation doesn't stop there. The body changes, yes, but what really impresses is the spiritual change. And that's when the journey begins to touch deeper levels. When semen retention is practiced with discipline and purpose, something begins to change that goes beyond the physical. Yes, the skin improves, the eyes shine, and the energy rises, but there is a more subtle effect. The spirit gains weight. The man who once felt lost begins to feel a purpose burning within. It is as if every cell in the body recognizes, we are holding something sacred. And this energy, which was previously spent in a hurry, now builds a new foundation, firmer, more centered. On a physical level, the benefits are undeniable. More willingness to train, more resistance at work, more strength during the day. But the strong point is the mental clarity that emerges. The fog that previously dominated thoughts dissipates, and man begins to make decisions with more confidence. He realizes that he no longer needs to prove anything to anyone. His energy does that for him. Semen retention, along with the right rituals, transforms the body into a temple and the spirit into a warrior. This presence changes the way others see you. People feel it, even without understanding why. Women, especially, notice this rare energy, not from a needy man, but from a man full of himself. Not arrogant, but complete. And the looks start to come. But here is a test. The objective is not to collect achievements, but to remain firm. Seduction happens naturally, but true power lies in not being seduced by your own vanity. On a spiritual level, the man who saves his energy begins to hear his intuition more clearly. Dreams become more vivid, synchronicities become frequent, and there is a feeling of being aligned with something greater. It's as if the universe started to respond differently. And that's not a coincidence, it's a tune. By preserving what is sacred, man connects with the sacred. He leaves autopilot and begins to walk his own path, with his own feet and with his own strength. Don't leave it for later. Click on the first pinned comment, purchase the ebook, and start changing your energy, your mind, and your life today. But this strength needs to be cultivated every day. And it doesn't require fancy rituals, just a simple set of daily habits. Small actions, done consistently, that feed the body, mind, and spirit. This is what the next point is about, and perhaps it is precisely what is needed for your transformation to leave the field of idea and become reality. Real transformation doesn't come from grand gestures, but from small, consistent habits. Semen retention is the cornerstone, but without a routine of daily practices, accumulated energy can turn into restlessness. It's like trying to contain water in a dam without releasing the flow. The secret is to channel. Therefore, the man who wants to evolve needs 5 simple practices. Stop ejaculating, fast in the morning, breathe deeply, move the body regularly, and cultivate patience. None of this requires money, but it does require decision. The first practice is the basis of everything. Stop releasing semen. This means being aware of impulses, observing desire, and redirecting attention. It's not about repressing, but about transforming. A practical example: when that urge to escape comes, get up, take a deep breath, and go walk for 10 minutes. The momentum will pass, and the energy will rise. Over time, the brain learns not to react like a slave, but to command like a king. The second practice is morning fasting. Waking up and not immediately putting food in your stomach is a way of telling your body, I command. Warm water with lemon, green tea, or black coffee are great options. The body responds with more focus, and the mind becomes more stable. It's not about going hungry, it's about preparing the ground for circular energy. And this energy, added to correct breathing, becomes fuel for creativity, productivity, and emotional balance. Moving the body is also essential. It can be walking, stretching, functional training, martial art. The important thing is not to stand still. Energy needs movement to not turn into tension. Have you noticed how days without exercise generate more anxiety? The body asks for channeling. And finally, patience. Perhaps the most difficult of the 5. But it is what transforms effort into results. Remember, big trees grow slowly, but they last for centuries. When these practices become routine, something really starts to change. The man feels that he is building something within himself. A new foundation, a new identity, a new power. And, naturally, this transformation begins to overflow in all areas of life. But before diving into this new lifestyle for good, it's worth reflecting on how we got here, and how this journey can unlock a strength that was dormant from the beginning. You've come this far. This already shows that you are not like most. Most people stop in the middle, get distracted, look for shortcuts, and go back to the cycle. But not you. You are ready to take the next step. But now comes the most important part: applying. There is no point in understanding all this if tomorrow you continue living as before. Semen retention is more than a practice, it's a silent declaration: I choose my greatness. So tell me, are you going to keep letting your power go down the drain? Or will you stand up straight, take a deep breath, and take control of your energy, your body, and your life? The choice is yours. And it starts today. Try fasting in the morning, training your breathing, observing your impulses, and see how your energy begins to rise, your presence begins to weigh down, and your mind begins to clear. Don't expect perfection. Start with discipline. The rest comes. How many days could you retain? What has been your biggest challenge so far? Tell me in the comments. I want to know how far you've come on this journey. Let's create together a community of men who are awakening, who support each other and share victories. There is no judgment here, there is purpose. And of course, if this content helped you in any way, like the video now and subscribe to the channel. Activate the bell, because I will continue to bring content like this, deep, practical, and transformative. This here is just the beginning. The real revolution starts within you.